Well, it's 10 o'clock here, and we're starting a new segment in radio, I guess you could call it. This is Dara on our maiden voyage into the unknown. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised here in Kansas. Yes, I said Kansas, don't hold that against me. And things, as I was growing up, would change and do around. You know how that all goes. Everybody has their own little problems, their own little things. Mine were just a little more unusual than most. So I just sat back and let things happen. You know, would see things, shrug them off, no big deal. But you really didn't come here for that. If you are out there and listening, please feel free to IM me and we can get some comments going and some readings going. And we'll do as what we can, when we can, and how we can. Everybody wants to know what's coming up or what is going on presently. We can even do that. I would like to let everybody know that in the coming weeks we do hope to add some music to our broadcasting. So please, if you're an artist, a musician, in a band, and you would like to submit your work for us to use on Radio Visions, please do so. You can find the broadcast release form on our website, which is www.visionsbydarrah.com. So please download that, print it off, send it to us with your CD, and in the coming weeks we'll start broadcasting music instead of just doing 2 nights a week of talk radio. So like I said, getting back to me, when I was younger I used to see things, do things, whatever you'd like to call it. I started seeing visions when I was younger, and then as I got older I understood what they were. It just kind of freaked some of my friends out and stuff. But, you know, everybody's got their own little quirks. So, within the last 30 years experience, I've decided to go ahead and jump ship, I guess, and leave the real world where it is and try to do this for a while. So, we'll see where it goes. I do have a lot of people ask me, do you travel to do what you do? And yes, I can travel. That's no big deal. I travel nationally on occasion. I've been to Seattle, California, Las Vegas, Branson. But I mainly stay close to home here in Kansas. That's kind of what we do, how we do it. If you've been over the website, great, wonderful. It's just kind of interesting to see all the things that happen and can happen. Like I said, we hope to add stuff later on down the road, but we do need people to help us do that. So, like I said, if you're out there, please log in and let us know what's going on. Maybe we can help you, maybe we can't. But it's always fun to find out. So, just here having fun. So it looks like we got a few people that are finally starting to log in and say hi and stuff. Whoops, sorry, let you have some dead air. That's not cool. Like I said, I'm kind of new at this, doing this on the internet radio style system, but we're all out here, we're all working, we're all seeing what's going on. So, and like I said, during the weeks coming, we hope to add music to our broadcasting, which will make it a little more interesting for some of you, I know. But that's all right. We can do what we have to, when we have to, and anything around then. The past couple of years, for Halloween in the early mornings, I've been on a local live radio program called Jan and Phil at 1045 The Fox. They're a great bunch of people to work with. It's just kind of fun being on their program for about an hour each Halloween morning. If you've caught me there, you kind of know what I do and what I don't do. But I'd just like people to know that that's not all I do. I do have other show styles available if you're more interested in like having a show for I don't know what you would want to call it, a house party, home party. And it's called the Psychic Party, which is basically we come in, set up, and do readings for people, like all your guests, if they want them. And the cool thing about this is that a lot of people that bring in entertainers for their parties and stuff come in, usually get a band or a singer or something. We go well beyond this because we do individual readings for all your guests. And with that, each person that gets a reading will receive a free gift, which a lot of people that come in don't usually give gifts out, but that's something different, something new that we do. And if you're a little more on the strange side, we also offer a party called The Stranger. This is great. The Stranger is a phantom guest at the party, basically, and no one knows who he is or what he is. He is just an unannounced guest for the most part. And as the night goes on, rumors start to circulate the room and things come about and find out that he's actually a psychic. So then when the evening settles down, we get into some psychic readings and tells of the other side, if you will. It's just kind of a fun scenario to do at a party to make it more interesting. Kind of like theater, I guess, but a little more fun. One of my popular events for corporate events is Talking to the Afterlife. And why is it popular with corporate events? I couldn't tell you, but it is. It's really popular. Talking to the Afterlife is the art of reuniting loved ones with those who have already crossed over. This is a really cool experience. Kind of makes you think differently about life and the afterlife. It's not scary, it's not sad, it just kind of makes everybody okay with everything that's out there. Kind of makes it fun. So don't forget about the shows. We also, like I said, do personal readings by appointment only. So if you're in the Kansas area, feel free to give me a call and we'll set up an appointment for you, get you in. And we're really reasonably priced. We charge $40 a reading. So keep that in mind as well. We also do wine readings. Now this goes over well for events at restaurants or parties and stuff. Wine readings is more or less a formal twist on the psychic party, except for the concept is everybody gets a glass of wine. They come see me and we take a little sample of that wine and we dabble it on some business cards and smash it together, open them up, and we do a reading based on what I see in the wine splotches, basically on the business cards. It's really kind of cool. A lot of people like it, so keep that in mind when you're planning your holiday parties that are coming up. I really do want to stress that if you're planning a holiday party and want something unique and unusual, feel free to give me a call. We very competitive in pricing. Probably won't find anybody lower, to be honest. It's just a great time, but we do start, bookings have already started, so you need to think about that. And moving on to something a little more interesting, since we're talking about the holidays and stuff, I actually offer a gift. It's called a reading in a bottle. And what this is really cool. For someone that you have to send a gift to, or even someone here in town, and you really don't know what to get them, a reading in a bottle is a reading based either on their name, or if you'd like, we could just do a straight out flat reading for them instead of basing it on their name. That's here nor there. And it's all set up and done, and it's printed out on nice parchment paper that's rolled up really nice with a little tassel on it, and it's put into a glass wine bottle and shipped to these people. And it's something that you can have forever, and it blows everybody's mind because most people have never seen anything like it. And there are two different prices for that. So go to the website at www.visionsbydarrah.com. I'm getting ahead of myself on this one. Oh, wow. And take a look at it. It is really, really great. And your friends will remember this gift for a long time to come. Like I said, we are trying to add music to the site eventually, so just keep that in mind. And if you're in a band or produce music of some sort, please feel free to send it to us, okay? And we'll get it on the air as soon as we can, but we can't play it on the air unless you send us the release form with it, or a broadcasting form. So remember to do the broadcasting form as well, because if you don't, like I said, we can't use it, and that would be a tragedy all the way around for you and us. And everybody that sends us something to use on the air, we will give everybody credit for it. That's an obvious. So please keep that in mind, that when you do send us something, we get it edited down to where we need it and everybody gets credit. And once we get enough music submitted, we're going to try to get a link set up so we can play music 24/7, we hope is the goal. So keep that in mind. And like I said, if you're out there listening and want a reading, feel free to IM me and we'll get the reading started at any time. Like I said, my name's Pat Dara. We're just going to have some fun tonight, okay? So keep that in mind. So I guess I'm going to tell you some stories. How's that? Well, I am a natural born psychic. I do have over 30 years of experience. A little deeper background. This is coming off my website, so if you haven't seen this page, this is kind of fun. Between the ages of 7 and 8, I started to experience dreams, and later they would come true. And this always freaked me out in the beginning. I was just like, whoa, deja vu. You know how that goes? You think you've lived it once, but it isn't. Then when I got a little bit older, I could see the energy of those who have already crossed over. Now this is strange because when I first started seeing that, it looked like little clouds, I thought I had a problem with my eyesight, to be honest. It just looked that fuzzy, that dim. And then when I concentrated just a little bit, I could actually see forms in it. And that was always kind of unique, because in the beginning, I didn't know what to make of it. I asked my friends about it, and they just thought I was crazy, basically. Then after I actually physically started seeing people, I kind of let it go for what it was. I said, okay. And then I could start hearing voices. And later on, I could communicate with them. That was a unique experience. The first time I heard a voice that was no physical form there. Have you ever been sitting in a room at home watching TV or listening to the radio, then kind of softly right behind your ear you hear somebody go, "Hi"? Well, I heard that a lot, and nobody was there, just me. So you know how that can make you feel kind of crazy at times. It's just kind of an interesting experience. So, and I'd like to hear experiences from you too, if you've had a psychic experience or have just seen things that really weren't there, like ghosts, because some ghosts are a big deal to a lot of people, and they're something you shouldn't be afraid of. Ghosts are there for a reason. They're your friends, they're your buddies for the most part. Every once in a while they kind of get in the way, so just keep that in mind. And they're really kind of interesting and cool. The first time I went to a place where it was deemed as haunted, I was really intrigued, because we'd go in looking for the ghost, and we never ever found him. But you know how those stories go about a certain building in your hometown or a house or something. Your kids are growing up, and everybody says, "Oh, this is haunted. This is haunted." Well, some of those stories are really cool, and some of them are really not cool because when you get inside, you get the heebie-jeebies scared out of you. So, but keep in mind, most ghosts don't even realize they're haunting a place. They're there just reenacting basically the last few moments of their life or the last few weeks of their life before they crossed over in whatever means that was. But if you have a haunting and you'd like someone to come check it out, please also feel free to let us know about that one, because I would be happy to come out and look at it and see what's going on. So that could be really cool. But like I said, this is all things are changing and coming around, and like I said, in the upcoming weeks, we're going to try to add music. So please, if you produce your own music, and it's very important it's your own music, because we don't want any infringement laws and stuff going in place. That's why I have a release form or a broadcasting form for you to download and print off and send in with your CDs. And that's another point I would like to make, that all this needs to be on CD format. If you send me a tape, I'm not going to be able to use it. That's it's just easier for everybody if it can already be on CD, because it's easier us to convert over into the streaming files we need to stream with. So keep that in mind. Right now we're looking for new age music and jazz. It can be smooth jazz, it can be cool jazz, but something in those two genres right now is what we'd like to start with. Something relaxing, something nice, something you could just turn your computer on and set up and lay down and relax with. So keep that in mind, that life is just too stressful some days. So we're going to sit down and have some fun. Now, getting back to some of the reasons why some of you are here is to get a reading. Now, let me explain a little bit how this is going to work online. When you go to the web page to click on the live feed that you're probably listening to now, remember the I am from AOL is right there next to it. Fill out your message in there, and all you got to do to send it is hit return. So when you return it, it comes to me, and then we start our readings based on what you're telling me. Now, I'm going to ask of a little favor. It's nothing big, nothing exciting, but I am going to ask that in the I am field at the bottom, it will say, like, buddy so-and-so talking. Please put a name in there. It doesn't have to be your real name. Just put a name in there. I would prefer it to be your real name, just first names only. But then that way, when you guys are listening, it'll be a little more interesting if I am talking to Sarah instead of AimBuddy 297.4. You know, I'm just letting you know. It'd be a little more interesting for the other listeners out there, because this is something new and experimental even for us here at Visions by Dara. And I'm just trying what I can when I can. If this takes off and does well in the coming months, we're going to try to expand maybe even a little bit bigger than just adding music. Who knows? But right now, this is where we're at. Just laid back, sitting down, having some fun. So keep in mind that things are here. It's fun. It's like I said, when you log on and you send me an IM to get a reading done, remember to put your name down there at the bottom. It says your name, because it's a lot easier to talk to you if I'm calling you Sarah or John or Tommy instead of M guest 811047. You know, that's just kind of silly, but keep that in mind. Okay. Oh, and another thing, we do have a monthly newsletter that goes out every month, kinda. But if you'd like to become a member of that, go to our contact us/newsletter page and sign up, and it will keep you up to date on Darrah's appearances, which would be me. Now I'm talking about myself in the third party. That's kind of strange, I know. and Radio Visions, when we change it, how we change it, and what is and isn't changing on it. And we do have special offers every once in a while. We give members different prices sometimes on shows and readings, so feel free to join up to that anytime you like. Like I said, that right now we are currently trying to add music to this, so if you're an artist, a musician who would like to submit their original work for airing on Radio Visions, we're looking for music in the areas of new age and smooth and cool jazz for right now. So please submit your work, print off the permission form. That has to accompany any CD you send us, or we can't use your work, and that is very important. So keep that in mind, and everything will be really cool. So just going around and doing the things we have to do. Like I said, for right now, we are broadcasting from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Central Time on Fridays and Saturday nights for right now. And that's the only time we will be broadcasting. So keep that in mind as well, that when we're broadcasting, that you can contact me at any time. My name's Dara, and we all know why everybody's here. Everybody wants to get a reading done. So please keep that in mind. And we're going to work as well as we can with what we have at the moment. And if you become a newsletter subscriber, you'll be one of the first to know when changes happen. To be honest, most of the changes that will happen to the website will probably be happening to the Radio Visions, because that's our newest and our greatest endeavor in this ever-changing electronic world. And one of the coolest things about this is that if you miss a Friday night or a Saturday night, we're actually going to go back and post old broadcasts. So after a few weeks and a few months, you'll start being able to go back and grab some of the older broadcasts, and we'll try to put them on so you can go and listen to those anytime you want. So if you've had a reading done that night, later on you can go back and re-listen to it. And I think that's going to be a really cool feature that people will really get into and enjoy. And as time goes on, like I said, things will change, things will disappear, things will come, and hopefully always bigger and better. That's the whole point of everything in life, it seems like, is bigger and better. So that's always something to look forward to. You are listening to Darrah on Radio Visions, live internet talk radio. And keep everything in mind that we are here to serve you. We are not here for ourselves. One of the biggest things that people ask me when I do a show, especially when I do a talking to the Afterlife show, is people ask me what I see. Because during that particular show I pause a lot because I see things and I'm trying to interpret them. And the best way I can explain to what I see and how I see it, it's kind of like a dream that's been disarrayed, or it's not all joint together. It's not like a beginning, a middle, and an end. Sometimes I'll have a end linked to a beginning and there's no middle to connect them. So I struggle sometimes putting those connections together, but then when I get it, it's really cool and people understand. So like I try to explain to people, it's kind of like a dream that shifts and morphs, but sometimes not in any timeline that's usually understandable or easily understandable at the time. And that's always interesting because it's never the same. I can think that this is how it's going to happen, that I'm going to see a person, they're going to tell me something, and then I'm going to relay the message and we're going to move on. But sometimes I will only hear a message and then see another person, and that message and the person I'm seeing doesn't jive together because I've got too too many spirits trying to talk to me, so I'm getting audio from one and video from the other, basically, to put it on terms that you might understand. And that's kind of cool in a twisted way. That's kind of cool, but like I said, tonight is our maiden voyage into this internet talk radio program. So if you're out there hearing my voice, please let me know, even if it's in an email. Go to the contacts page and email me. Say, hey, I heard the show. I liked it. I didn't like it. Give us some feedback on what we can change, what we can't change, what you would like to see in the coming airings of stuff. That would really help us out because, like I said, I am very new to this as well. And I would like to make this as enjoyable to everybody as I possibly can. And as time goes on, we're gonna add things and hopefully, like I said, make this bigger and better. But I do want you to just realize that all this is for you. It's just for you. It's something I've wanted to do for quite a while now, and I've finally figured out how to do it on a somewhat budget. And eventually we're going to have to take this budget and expand it. And who knows? Now this isn't anything that we plan on doing right away, but who knows, eventually we might have advertising. So if you're interested in maybe advertising with us, please email me and let us know that you would be interested in advertising. Because I would rather have radio advertising so we could broadcast it and ship it out there over the airs, instead of having to do website advertising and clutter up all our pages. But eventually it's going to come down to bringing in money so we can continue doing this. So if you're a business or an individual who would like to advertise with us, please throw us an email or get our number off our website and call us and we'll talk to you with it. Because as of now, like I said, this is all new. So we don't know where it's going to lead us, where it's not going to lead us. So just keep that in mind. And you are listening to Dara on RadioVisions, live internet talk radio, broadcasting from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Central Time every Friday and Saturday nights. So like I said, in the future, if you would like to see certain things, just let us know what you would like to see and we'd be happy to do it. And if you can hear my voice, if you're out there, why don't you IM me and just say hi. Don't necessarily have to give you a reading, just say hi. We can babble back and forth if you'd like. So I always like to start off some things in certain areas for people when we do readings, and if you have that area that's been kind of gray and murky for you, let me know and we can kind of look at that and see what's around you and what's not around you, and we'll work on changing that and getting it fixed for you so life smooths out a little better for you. Oh, and another thing, we do offer free gifts when we give psychic parties. So if you host a psychic party, your guests that attend the party will receive free gifts. That's always something cool, because most entertainers, you bring them to your house or your event or your corporate settings or whatever the party situation is. You hire a DJ, a band or whatnot, they come in, do their thing and leave. But when you have a psychic party, I come in, set up. And the way it usually works is I like to set up in a separate room from the rest of your guests, because then that way each individual guest feels a little more secure about the information that's coming across. So that's always fun. And everybody that gets a reading during that always gets a free gift. So book a psychic party and get free gifts, I guess. It's always cool. Like I said, if you can hear me and you just want to say hi, you can IM me from the website, and that's www.visionsbydarrah.com. And we'll do our best to see what we can broadcast and get out here for you tonight. and I just always enjoy seeing and talking to people. So give a shout out, shoot me an email if you can hear this and you liked it, or shoot me an email if you didn't like it, or shoot me an email and give me suggestions on how to change it. Like I said, in the upcoming weeks and months, we would like to add music to our broadcasting schedule. So if you're a musician or a solo singer or someone that produces your own original work, just click on that link and download a broadcasting form and fill it out and send us a CD, and we'll start gradually adding people to the broadcasting and start adding music. Everybody likes music. Right now we were looking for new age style of music. We're also looking for smooth and cool jazz. So if you do any of that, or if you even know somebody that does that would like to get their stuff heard, please tell them to get on the site and get that taken care of, and we will get it out there. And everybody likes hearing stuff new, because in this way, if it's some small group in New York or some small group here in Kansas, we want to put your stuff out there, let other people hear it. We give you the credit for it. We introduce who you are and what your album you sent us is and stuff like that. So please get it out there and let us know all about it. We also would like to welcome everybody to our maiden voyage into the internet radio business. I am Dara, the host for this evening and every other evening when it's live. As time goes on, we will probably add other personalities to the music portion of it when music starts coming in. And I can't stress that enough, that when we really get up and running and really get this going hard and heavy, things are going to start changing rapidly on the website. So keep in mind, if you want to know a little bit ahead of time when all this is going to take place and change, join our newsletter. Go to the Contact Us/newsletter page. Send me your email address, and you'll start getting a monthly newsletter. Sometimes that monthly newsletter is twice a month, but on average, I try to do it once a month just to keep people from getting annoyed. I know when I look at my inbox sometimes and there's a lot of stuff in there, I always think to myself, why did I sign up for all this? But then I start reading it and realize, because it's information I needed to know. Everybody wants the information. Sometimes we just forget we ask for it. I do want to give everybody a little shout out that in this coming week, it looks like it's going to be kind of a orange-blue week, and I know that's kind of odd colors for a week, but my lines of seeing things are a little different than most psychics. When I see colors on a color scale that ranges from white to black. White is an area that is so calm, so peaceful, so zoned that, to be honest, I don't think any living person has ever made it to that area without deep, deep meditation. And then again, only a few people can make it to that area. Most people that are well balanced and happy usually fall into the categories of the oranges and yellows, sometimes the reds, but the oranges and yellows are where you should be. A nice neutral place where you're happy, life is good. And so many people are toppled over into the blue areas. Now the light blue to dark blue, those kind of change and go so quick into each other, so sometimes it's hard to tell where you're at. But if you're in the light blue area, that's not bad. That just means there's a little bit of stress in your life, but not much. And you're handling it very well. It's the people that are in the dark areas and even the black areas, because they've got so much going on and they don't know how to deal with it, and they're running in circles, or at least it feels like they're running in circles. That's when you need to stop, step back, take a breath, and ask yourself, why are you doing this? As silly as that sounds, it really works. And sometimes, if you can pinpoint why you're doing something, it may be that you're working 4 jobs and that the stress is just starting to get to you so bad that you don't know what you're doing. You know, you need to step back and just take a deep breath, and sometimes that will change the whole outlook. So just got to remember, like I said, this coming week is kind of in the oranges and in the blues a little bit, so it's going to be calm for the most part with a little stress bumping here and there for some of you. So just keep that in mind, that it's nothing bad, it's nothing scary, it's just something that happens from time to time. But everybody out there, it's just fun. If you're out there listening, please contact me. I'd like to get to know who you are and who you think I am, and if this is going to be fun for everybody. And I always like to meet new people, so when you IM me, do me a favor and put a name down in that IM box name area, because it helps me out in a couple different ways. For one, when I'm speaking with you, it's a lot easier to call you by a name like John or Ted or Sally or Sarah or something like that, versus aim guest 814127, because that just sounds kind of silly, I think. So put some kind of name down there. And if you don't want to use your own name, that's fine too. Just put a name. It just makes it easier to talk with you. Okay, you are listening to Radio Visions, hosted by Dara, every Friday and Saturday nights between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. And during these broadcasts, we will do live readings if you so wish. In order to do that, just log on to the IM page, which is the same page that you had to log into to get to the broadcasting. So just type me a little message in there, say hi, tell me your problems, and we'll work on them. And in the future, we're going to start broadcasting audio, as in music audio. So if you're a artist or a musician of some sort, please submit your work to us here at Radio Visions. You can find the release form or the broadcasting form on the page down under the little ad we have for looking for musicians. And someone had asked me earlier when I was putting this together about what happens if I have 3 albums out or 3 CDs out. Do I have to send a release form for each one, or will one release form work? We would like a release form for each individual disc you sent us or send us. If you send us an album that's entitled Coming Home, please make a release form just for that one. Then your other album that's Born Free, make a release form for that one as well, because we just want to keep everything up and legit as we can as far as the broadcasting the music and stuff. We don't want to step on no toes and stuff like that. So keep that in mind, that we do need a release form for each individual CD you send us. And we just hope this blossoms into something really wonderful. If you weren't logged in and hearing us a little bit earlier, I was kind of going over the website that you've logged into. If you haven't gone over the whole thing, take some time some night and really read over it. It's really kind of cool. And just to give you a little bio on myself, I've done well over 1,000 shows in the past 30 years. And I know you're thinking at 30 years, you hope you've done over 1,000 shows. But when I say well over, I mean well over. And if you go to the page on there called About Darrah, it'll give you a little blurb on how I came about recognizing my abilities and stuff. It gives you a couple questions that a lot of people ask, like, can you travel to do a show? Yes, I can travel to do a show. I actually have traveled nationally to do shows, so since I'm based here in Kansas, and let's say you're based in Wisconsin, and you would like to book a party, call me. We'll set it up. I'll come out and do a party for you. Now, we do have a price guarantee that a lot of other people out there that provide services may not have, but our price guarantee is kind of unusual because it's almost it's better than a price guarantee is what it is. If you can provide proof of someone else's price for a party or an event you're throwing and send that proof to us here at Visions by Dara, we will actually match that price and then give you 10% off that price. Now, that's within reason, of course, because we don't want to end up doing a show where we're going to be in debt after the show. But I don't know of any other performer out there of anything, regardless if it's another psychic or another band or a DJ, that would match someone else's price and then give you 10% off. So keep that in mind when you're planning your holiday parties, that we can do that for you. And to be honest, I do that quite often for people. As long as you can show me proof of someone else's price, I'll be happy to match it and take that 10% off. Please keep in mind that October and November and December feel really fast for parties because of the holidays. Everybody's having a party. So if you're planning on a party and you haven't booked something to do for that party or event yet, try a psychic this year. I can guarantee that your guests will be talking about it for a long time to come. Because usually when people go to events, they see the standards anymore. The standards at most events are DJs and karaoke. I'm not knocking them. Don't get me wrong about that. I know a lot of great guys that go out there and do it. They beat the pavement and have a great time, provide a great service. But try something different is always great and always wonderful. Like I said, when's the last time you went to a party or an event and they said they had a psychic there that would do readings? That's just kind of cool. You're listening to Radio Visions, hosted by Dara. And keep in mind that we also do readings live on the show every Fridays and Saturday nights. That's why we're here tonight. And remember, in order to do that, when you're on the Visions by Radio, Visions by Radio, yes, this has been a long night, isn't it? When you're on that website, click on the AOL Instant Messenger right next to the links there, and you can send me messages. It's really kind of cool. All you do is gotta click on it and send them, and I'll answer you back as soon as I can. And some nights we will probably be swamped with IMs, so if I don't get to you right away, don't feel left out or neglected. I'm just giving readings to people as quickly as I can, and some of them will be really in depth, some of them won't be, so keep that in mind as well. So everybody's got to be a little patient with that. And I do have to give you a little heads up on the live broadcast aspect of this. There is a delay in the live broadcasting, so when you IM me or instant message me, I will get that message almost instantaneously. So when I start the readings on those, they will be delayed just a little bit. So don't think I'm ignoring you or anything. I'm doing what I can as quick as I can, but because of the way the technology works, it's delayed about 20 to 30 seconds. So keep that in mind as well. And like I said, if there's anybody out there that would just like to say hi, just shoot me a message, IM me. I'll be happy to talk with you. Cool topic right here. How many people have ever been to a psychic before? I know a lot of you found my website online through a search engine or the yellow pages, and were just kind of curious on what I offer and stuff, because what I offer is a lot different from what a lot of the other psychics out there offer. Everybody offers basically the same thing. They do readings. But how each psychic does readings varies greatly. I know a lot of great psychics out there that do nothing but tarot cards. That's great and wonderful. But if you book a personal or a private reading with me, you actually have a choice on how you want the readings done. And this is really, really cool. I can do a standard hands-on reading where, how to explain a hands-on reading? That's basically, or like what we're doing now here over this RadioVisions. So keep that in mind, that that's what hands-on is. Sometimes I might actually do a palm style reading for you during the hands-on reading, and that's just to get a better feel and a connection of what's going on. One of the biggest things I do, and people really love it, it's called a charmed reading. I know a lot of you've probably never heard of that, but a charmed reading is actually really, really neat. Is what it is. I've got 7 different charms that represent 7 different things in a little bag, and you'll take the bag, you'll shake it up, you'll pull out a few of the charms, you'll scatter them on the table, and we'll do the reading based on what charms came out. Because there's a charm in there for wisdom, there's a charm in there for travel, there's a charm in there for conquering fears, and it is so accurate that it's scary. And that is one of my most popular reading tools to use. I only actually use 2 tools, and that would be the charms that I just explained, and I also read playing cards. And when I say playing cards, yes, I read just what it sounds like, standard everyday playing cards. A lot of people don't realize this, that playing cards actually came from tarot cards. Tarot cards a long time ago were almost the standard for cards, many centuries ago. And over the years, the pictured cards turned into emblems like the pips and the hearts and stuff, and then eventually the pictures part went away and got replaced with 3s and 4s and 5s and so on and so forth, and someone reintegrated some of the pictures back in, like the king and the queen and so forth. But yeah, playing cards actually came from tarot cards. Just a little bit of trivia that you may or may not have known, which is really kind of unique. For so many people frown on tarot cards and stuff, but they go out and play poker or bridge every Friday or Saturday nights. It's just kind of interesting to me. So if you're out there and you're listening to this, let me know. Send me an instant message and we can chat a little bit. I can do a reading, because that's why I'm here on these live broadcasts, is to do live readings for people. So like I said, just send me a line. We'll get you set up. We'll get you going. We'll see where you're going, where you've been, and what's going on in the present. And that's always fun to see what's going on in the present, because you always think you got a handle of stuff that's going on, and it always changes as you're perceiving it. And that brings me to another topic. Someone had asked me one time that when I see stuff and relate it to people, does that influence what I see? And that is really a tricky question. It doesn't really influence what I see, but once I see it and relate it to somebody, that can change the events. Sometimes it only changes the events to a very small degree, where when you get to that point in time, it happens almost verbatim of what happened, what I explained. And at other times, when I explain it, there's so much detail I explain to the person that they're actually able to shape and change the upcoming events for them. So they may be able to avoid something that's not going to be so pleasant, or maybe change something drastically that was going to be okay and made it into something wonderful because they knew well enough not to be somewhere some one day, or to not play four hands of poker, only play three, then walk away from the table. Small stuff like that. But yes, when I relay stuff to clients, how they interpret it will shape the outcome eventually. So the future is not set in any way, shape, or form. Because once I see it, it actually changes to a degree because I've seen it. I know it's coming now. And I hope that's made sense to some of you out there. So just keep that in mind. You are listening to Radio Visions, hosted by Dara, every Friday and Saturday nights between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. If you'd like to have a free reading done, just instant message me, and I will be happy to start your reading anytime. A little bit more about me. This is again coming from the website if you haven't browsed over it yet. I am a natural born psychic. I do have over 30 years of experience in this given field. Between the ages of 7 and 8, I started to experience dreams that would later come true. And when I was in my teens, well, actually when I was about 10 to about 13, I would have dreams, but I'd be wide awake. And if you have ever done that, you know how freaky that can be sometimes. And those dreams would also come to pass, and that was always cool, especially when I was younger, in my teens. When I was 11, 12, I'd see stuff in a dream and go, that was cool. Then like 3 weeks later, I'd be walking down the street or through the mall, and I'd have this feeling of deja vu, and I'd look up, and that whole event that I dreamed about would be unfolding in front of me. And I know a lot of people have that experience, and they just kind of shrug it off as, oh, it was just coincidence, like I said, deja vu. But believe it or not, it really means something. So I would encourage you to explore those events in your own life a little further and really get into what's going through there and why you're doing that. Because a lot of times you're having those events play out before they happen, so you can either brace yourself for what's coming or you can change what's coming. But if you explore why you can do it when you're asleep, maybe you can do it while you're awake and control even more of your destiny. So keep that in mind. I also have the ability to communicate with those who have already crossed over. And when I was young, in my teens, when I first started doing this was really kind of different for me, because it always started out as kind of like seeing a shadow or a little puffy mist of something, and I just didn't know what to make of it, and I'd go talk to my friends about it and say, hey, did you see this? Did you see that over there by the trees? And my friends would always tell me they don't see anything. I say, okay, fair enough. Then later on, this little puffy cloud or mist would actually take form, and I would see a person standing by a tree or by a car just for an instant. I'd look up, there, I'd look away, then look back up, and then be gone. And then later, I could hear voices that were coming from these people, and that's when it clicked. They were trying to talk to me. And so one day I just talked back to them, and they actually heard me. And that was kind of startling, and really kind of woke me up at the same time. I was startled, I was scared, but I was intrigued. Why I could see somebody and hear somebody that nobody else could. And then what even intrigued me more was to find out later that that person was actually no longer living. They've already crossed over to the other side, and they were just wanting to let me know that they forgot to tell their wives or their husbands or their children something that was important. And I found that I could relay these messages to them. That is just hard to wrap your mind around sometimes, unless it happens to you. But it is really, really cool once you understand it. Just keep that in mind. We also are still exploring the website, and I do offer a gift if you'd like to purchase a gift. This is the only thing I physically sell besides booking shows, and it is called a reading in a bottle. It's a psychic reading based on someone's name. Now, if you would just like a standard reading done instead of one based on their name, we can do that as well. But it is all beautifully printed on gold parchment paper, tied with a black tassel, and wrapped and shipped. Oh, it is so beautiful. This is something that people will keep forever. I mean, you can give them the clock radio of Christmas, but you give them one of these readings in a bottle, the clock radio will come and go, and the readings in the bottle will sit on their mantelpiece for years and years and years to come. If you have a special occasion for somebody, and I would suggest a reading in the bottle for like an anniversary, because I can guarantee you for an anniversary present, this is idea. It shows you how much you actually care. It is really cool. But keep in mind, when ordering, the following information is needed in order to make it basically personalized. I'll need the first or last name if you're doing it based on a name. Even if you're not doing it based on a name, I always like the person's name that it's going to, so we can print it on there, so it's just more nice, more formal. Makes it personal for them. And we can also add a photograph to it. So if you have a photograph of that person, email that to us or mail it along with your check or money order when you're ordering these. And remember that it does take a week to a week and a half to prepare everything and get it ready to ship. So keep that in mind. But this is one of those gifts that they'll talk about forever and ever and ever. Going back to, like I said a moment ago, that I have more than one style of show. Like I said, the reading in the bottle is the only gift or physical thing that I have a price for outside of a show. But one of my newest shows that I have, and on my website it's listed as number 4, it's called Imagine. This is a great show for events that you're just so tired of doing things the same old way over and over again. Let me give you a rundown of what it is. Imagine is an evening so extraordinary it goes beyond your senses. Imagine seeing someone painting who is blindfolded. Imagine audience members being transformed into artists and painting beautiful works of art, even if they can't paint. Imagine seeing some members of your audience explaining and describing artwork they can't even see. Now this show goes down to the core of what everybody is and would like to be. If you can imagine something in your mind and do it, this show embodies that. And this is one of my most inquired about shows. So if you're having a big Christmas event and you're wanting something a little more staged than a psychic party or wine readings, I would definitely go with this show. It's called Imagine. And it will blow you away. So keep that in mind when you're trying to book that holiday party that's coming up, that you want something really grand, really big, really wonderful. this would be the show for it. Also, in the coming months, we want to add music to our broadcasting. So when we do that, we will of course need music to broadcast. So if you are an artist, a musician, or just in a weekend band that has recorded your own music, please keep in mind we would like to use it. But in order for us to use it and broadcast it, you need to go to back to the website and download and print off a broadcasting form which gives us permission to broadcast your music, and that's all it does. You keep the rights to everything. We just get to broadcast it. We also need that on CD format, which this day and age almost everything is on CD format, so keep that in mind when you're getting ready to ship it out to us, that it really does need to be on a CD. Professionally made ones are the best, but if you've made your own CDs from your own studio, hey, that's great and wonderful. Fill out a form, send it to us. It will take us a while to start getting the music portion of our website up and running, but that is like with anything new and wonderful, you've got to take all these little baby steps, and baby steps are what we're doing right now. You are listening to Radio Visions, hosted by Dara, every Friday and Saturday nights between 10 p.m. and midnight Central Time. So if you're out there listening to this and would like a reading done, please get on the instant messenger on the Radio Visions page and send me a blurb on what you would like to know and what's going on in your life. I would be happy to take a look at that and help you work through it or guide you in a direction you think you need to be in. During this is really kind of interesting. During the coming weeks, like I said, we hope to add audio. So when we get the music in and we start doing it, we may add some other personalities to the lineup. So keep that in mind, that these personalities may not be me. And if you like the personalities that are introducing the music and stuff, please let us know that as well. For the most part, I personally will be doing it. But like I said, when time goes on, things will change. And if you'd like to know about these changes a few days ahead of time, maybe even weeks ahead of time, join up to our newsletter. It is a monthly newsletter, so I only send it out once a month. With a seldom twice a month newsletter. When I say seldom, that doesn't happen very often unless something's just really, really cool and I have to tell you. So, and we do not sell email addresses to anybody, so when you sign up to our newsletter, Visions by Darrah is the only website that will ever use these. So keep that in mind, that I will be the only person using your email address. This past Halloween, if you are a local here in Kansas and live in Wichita in particular, you might have heard me. I was on 104.5 The Fox Halloween morning on the Jan and Phil show. That was my second year with them. For the last 2 years, I've been on their morning show. They are the best and greatest bunch of people that I've worked with in a long time. Very professional, very funny, very insightful. People I'd like to hang around with all the time if I could. You know what I mean? So, if you heard me on that, give me a shout. Say you heard me and you liked it or didn't like it. Like I said, if you're out there listening to this and you would like to get some input on what you think so far, you can either send me an instant message or you can email me. If you email me, I probably would appreciate it if you put Radio Visions in the subject line so I kind of get a bearing of why you're emailing me, instead of just getting a letter saying great, wonderful, or anything else that was in there. So like I said, if you're out there and you can hear my voice and you would like a free reading, just start instant messaging me and we'll get that going and underway. And in the coming weeks, like I said, we do want to do music broadcasting. So please, if you're an artist or in a band, please submit your work for us to use on the Radio Visions here. Now, right now, the style of music we're looking for is new age and smooth jazz or cool jazz. So if you're into any of those music genres, please download a broadcasting form and mail us a copy of that CD so we can start broadcasting it. You will get the full credit for it. That's one thing that I am very big on. If I use anything, I always make sure people get the credit. So, here we are Friday night at 11:05 p.m. Central Time. And things are really kind of moving along. Like I said, so far, if you've liked what you've heard, let me know. Or if you have some suggestions already on how you think we might be able to change this or move it around a little bit better, please let us know on that too. I also would like to shout out that any suggestions you guys have are better than none. So keep that in mind too. Just be kind. That's all I'm asking. You can suggest we make changes, but be kind. I would also like to let people know that we will be here every Friday and Saturday nights in the coming weeks. And we're only broadcasting 2 hours each night to start with, just to get a feel for how this is going, how this is not going. And as time goes on, this window might open up a little more and more and more. But for right now, it's just between 10 and midnight every Friday and Saturday night. So like I said, just keep in mind, I am as if you would like a reading, or if you're just curious and just want to say hi, send me an IM and I'll say hi back. Or if you're just curious about how your love life's going or how your financials are going, just IM me and let me know about those too, and what areas and why. And we'll try to look through them and around them and get you where you need to be in life with those. This has been really interesting so far. I hope everybody's enjoying it that's out there listening. And again, my name is Dara. I am a natural born psychic and have well over 30 years of experience doing readings for people and doing shows. And when I say shows, I have several different shows available for anybody that would like to have a party. Right now, the Psychic Party is my most popular show, because it can be either for a large group of people in a restaurant, it can be at a home private party, it can be in a corporate setting in a hotel. And the best thing about this is the only show I offer that actually your guests get to walk away with a free gift. So how about that? You bring me in to do readings for them and they get to walk away with a gift on top of the reading. Can't beat that one, now can you? I can't stress this point enough though, because of the holidays that are here, basically. And if you haven't planned that last minute party yet, please get a hold of me as quickly as possible. My dates are filling up. And I can almost guarantee it that if you have a psychic come into your party, your guests will remember it for the next 30, 40 years. I mean, everybody knows music's great and wonderful at parties, but psychics just take you over the edge. People remember that one. I also do something called wine readings if you want to do a little formal party for just a handful of people or for a large group. It doesn't really matter, but wine readings are kind of a formal spin on the psychic party. And how this works is that when you have a wine party, or a wine tasting party in general, everybody's drinking their favorite wines, their burgundies and their white wines and their red wines and so on. People will come with me with a glass of wine. We'll take a little sample of that wine and we'll take it and we'll place it on 2 business cards and we'll smash it together to make a little decorative design when you open up the business cards. And then I do a reading based on that. And for something as quick and easy as what that sounds like, the information that comes from you and your wine and everything else is so phenomenal. You'll be really amazed on what you can find out about yourself and where you're going just by what wines you're drinking and what's around. So keep that in mind. If you would like something a little more formal than just a party atmosphere, we can do that. If you're throwing a black tie affair or a costume affair, now this one really goes well for the costume affair. It's called The Stranger. It's a party I put together, or a show I put together, that is so unique that it will boggle the minds of your guests. Let me give you the rundown on it if you haven't been to the website. The stranger is a phantom at the party. No one knows who he is or what he is. He's just an unannounced guest, and the real guests have no clue what the stranger can do. Over the course of an evening, unexpected stories start to unfold about the stranger, taking the guest through a very unique night of an enchanting and an elegant evening of stories of psychic readings and tales of visions. Now, let me give you a little more detail on that. Is what this is basically is that you'll hire me to come in to be your psychic for the evening. And the stipulations of this show is that you cannot tell your guests you've hired a psychic. So you're having a costume party, everybody's dressed up, or you're having a formal party and everybody's dressed up. And I show up as well. For all pretenses, I'm just a extra guest that nobody knows, or an uninvited guest that nobody knows. And as the night goes on and the stories start to circulate about who I am, what I am, where I came from, that's what gets your guest interested and piqued into the stranger. And then as I start doing readings for people throughout the night, when it gets to that point, it's done a little bit more of a theatrical sense. It's more fun, a little less serious than some of the other things, like the psychic party and the talking to the afterlife, and even the wine readings. They can get pretty serious pretty quick, depending on what's coming through. But this party, the stranger, it's something that's really fun to do. So keep that in mind next time you're having a formal affair or a costume gala. It's always great to throw people off and have a good time. And another one of my shows that's popular is Talking to the Afterlife. And as the title suggests, it is exactly that. Well, I'll try to reunite you and a crossed over loved one. Now this is really similar to what some of the people were doing on the TV programs. The approach I take is slightly different from what you've seen there, but not much. Same principle. I talk to the strangers, talk to their loved ones, their passed over ones, and basically we resolve things that should have got resolved before they got passed over. But as time goes on, you know how that goes. But it is a great show. And if you're just logging on with us tonight, that's great. And remember, you're listening to Dara on RadioVisions, live internet talk radio, broadcasting from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. every Friday and Saturday nights. And tonight is our maiden voyage in this. This is our attempt at reaching more people to help out a little more than I could just here at home. Yeah, and yes, I know a lot of you have noticed I've used the word we a lot. It's just it's just a habit, to be honest, and I will try to break that in the course of these radio broadcasts, that it is I and not we. At least it's not we yet. Like I said earlier, we are trying to add music to our broadcasting. So if you're an artist, a musician, or just in a weekend band that has actually produced a few CDs, we would like to get them. We would like to use them. We would like to broadcast them. But in order for us to do that, you need to download one of the RadioVisions permission forms. Fill it out, mail it back to us with your CD, and as soon as we can start getting broadcasting up and going, we will. I'm hoping we get enough music to start in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but time will only tell. Right now, we are looking for music that fall in the genres of new age and smooth or cool jazz. And please, even if you don't do music yourself and know someone who does, pass on the information, because when we broadcast it, it will be hosted by a DJ that will announce everything and send it out into the world, and they'll get the credit for it. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, if you're just joining us and you haven't noticed yet, we do have a contacts page, which we have a newsletter. If you would like to know about things that we're doing a little ahead of everybody else, get on that contacts page and send us an email. Just fill out the email address and put subscribe. Or if you're sending me an email, go ahead and fill out the form and just click the little box at the bottom. That will automatically subscribe you to the newsletter if you want it to. Now, you don't have to if you're sending me just an email saying that you loved the show or you thought we could make improvements. But like I said, if you just want to know about some events and stuff that are up and coming or any changes we make to the website beforehand, you'll be one of the first people to know. But I just like to let people know that. And again, I'd like to thank you for coming and listening. And in the future, like I said, we want to do audio broadcasting of music, but eventually we will have to start thinking about monies coming in to pay for all of this wonderful stuff, this technology. So if you're a company or an individual who needs to do some advertising, please give me a call or send me an email and I'll get back with you. And like I said, this is a great way to support something you like. It gets your name out there to other people with the same ideas and likenesses that you do. So we will put it out. Our pricing is kind of in the talkative stage right now, but I can guarantee it, it's going to be as low as we can get it and next to nothing compared to conventional radio stations. So just keep that in mind. So if you are a company, a small company, or an individual that needs to host a slew of advertising, please contact us. You can either contact us at area code 316-260-8155. And if no one answers the phone, because I am extremely busy and I've been doing all of this by myself, please leave a message, because if you do not leave a message on the answering machine, I will not know you called. I know that sounds funny coming from a psychic, but the fact of the matter is, it's true. If you don't leave a message on the machine, you probably won't get called back. Or if you'd like, you can email us and I'll be happy to send you all that information. And like I said, if you join our newsletter, you'll eventually get that information in one of the newsletters. Like I said, it is a monthly style newsletter, so it only comes out once a month. And to be honest, when it comes out during the month has been varying. So it's not always the first of the month, and it's not always the last of the month, or the middle of the month for that matter. So keep that in mind. and you've been listening to Dara on RadioVisions every Fridays and Saturday nights between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. And if you're out there and you can hear my voice and you would like a live reading, just use the instant messenger and send me your questions and I will answer them as readily as I can. I do need to make you all aware of that when we do the live broadcast, and this is only on the live broadcast, that there is a time delay. So when you IM me or instant message me, there will be a 20 to 30 second delay. Keep that in mind. It's not that I'm ignoring you or anything. It's just with the way the technology works, it takes a little bit of time to get out into the world. So keep that in mind and everything will be wonderful. So, one of the things that I have not talked about really tonight is the goals for Visions by Darrah. Now, the goals of this website is to make readily available information to people with no cost or very little cost. And I understand that not everybody can have a private reading done. And that might be because they don't have the time. They don't have the resources to do it. They live in a different state where they don't have nobody. And so every Friday nights and Saturday nights between 10 and 11, this is the time to get free readings done. So please instant message me and we will get those readings done and done as quickly as possible. Some nights when there's not very much traffic coming through the radio station, we'll get really in depth on the people that need that. But if we're bombarded for whatever reason some night, readings will come quickly and swiftly. So keep that in mind as well so we can try to get everybody done. I would also like to let everybody know that as time goes on, we are going to start adding audio broadcasting 24/7. Now this will be music, and right now we were looking for artists and musicians who have produced some of their own stuff, and that is very important that it is your own stuff. You own the rights to it, because if you don't, we can't use it. But if you own your own stuff that you've produced, get on our website and download the permission form, fill it out and mail it back to us with a copy of your CD, and we would be happy to add you to our playlist. You will get the credit every time the playlist is played, just like on a standard radio station. So keep that in mind. If you would like your music pumped out there into the real world, here's your chance to do it without having to beg somebody to do it like some of the big radio stations are. We would also like to let you know that the music stylings we are wanting right now are smooth jazz or cool jazz and new age. So keep that in mind because we want this to be something everybody can listen to, something easy and soothing to relax you at the end of a hard day or to get you going at the beginning of a new day. But remember, keep that all in perspective when we're doing this, okay? You are listening to Radio Visions, hosted by Dara. So as time goes on, we'll probably need to start financing some of this stuff. So if you are a small company, or even a large company, or individual that needs to do some advertising, please contact us either by phone or by email. We'll be happy to try to put something together to give you some advertising going. Keep in mind, just like any other advertising, the more spots you buy, the cheaper it gets. But then again, I can guarantee that our pricing is going to be so cheap that you won't want to go anywhere else. So keep that in mind and give us a call. Send me an email. And I will get back with you as quickly as I can on that. Just like everything else, I do it as promptly as possible. So here we are, Friday night at 11:24 p.m. If there's anybody out there that can hear me, why don't you send me an instant message just saying hello. love the show, hate the show. Just send me something. Let me know somebody's listening. Like I said, this is our maiden voyage for tonight, and you are listening to Radio Visions. I am Dara. I am the owner of this site. Give out readings, give out whatever we can to help you because this is here for you. Not anybody else, just you. Another request I would like to make is that when you use the instant messenger, please go to the bottom of it, and in the thing where it says your name, please put a name. It can be your full name, it can be just your first name, it can be just your last name, but put a name in there because then when I get it, I don't look at it and say, oh, this is a reading for AIM guest 1947, 28, 29. Because to be honest, that would sound kind of silly, don't you think? So keep that in mind that it is easier for me to have some kind of name to associate you with. And if you don't want to use your real name, that's fine as well. You can use Bob, Steve, Carl, Homer. Just use a name that you would like to be called, and we will get that on the way as soon as you want. So, drop me an instant message or an IM, and we can get those live readings going. Like I said, this has been all put together for the benefit you, the listeners, and in the future, we are hoping to add audio broadcasting, which should be music 24 hours, 7 days a week. Can you imagine that? Cool jazz all day long, or new age music all evening long. We're going to have several different playlists available to everybody once we get this up and running. But we do need musicians and artists to send us your work. So, go to the website, download the permission form, fill it out, send me your CD and the permission form. That is always helpful. And we will start putting these lists together as soon as we can and getting them pumped out into the real world. But keep in mind that you will be credited for your work. So make sure it's good, okay? And another question some of the people have been asking me is that if I have more than one album I've put together or more than one CD I've put together, do I need multiple forms for all those or just one? And the question or the answer to that question is yes, I will need a form for each and every CD you send me. That's just to keep it straight and to try to keep it as legal as possible. So keep that in mind because I don't want to step on anybody's toes and I surely don't want anybody to be offended. That's why I give full credit to everybody that sends me their music in a form. So, and like I said, if you are hosting a Christmas party this year or a Hanukkah party this year and you have not got your entertainment yet, call me now. Book this show. My dates fill up really fast starting in October, November, and December. Usually by the end of October, I am booked for the rest of the year. So I've only got a handful of holes left in my calendar. So if you're thinking about a show, please contact me as soon as you can. By phone, by email, by instant message, contact me. We'll set something up. And about booking shows, a lot of people have asked me, where can I do shows at? I can, because of what I do and how I do it, I can bring a show into any location. When I say any location, I mean any location. And yes, I can travel to do shows. I've been in several different states nationally. I've been in Seattle, I've been in California, I've been in Las Vegas, I've been in Missouri, I've been in Oklahoma. So keep that in mind. If you don't live in the same state I'm in, I can still do shows for you. I'm not afraid of travel. I've done them nationally before. I can do them again. So just keep that in mind, that too far is never too far. And going back to the shows, my most popular show is The Psychic Party. And that is one of my favorite shows to do. It's where you'll book a party, and most of the psychic parties I do seem to be house parties. And the reasoning for that is I can't give you any, but it works real well for other venues too, like corporate gigs, or you hosted your party at a restaurant. No big deal, we can do them there as well. But as the way it falls out and goes is that I will come in, I'll set up a small table and 2 chairs. I prefer to do this in a separate room from the rest of the house. And the reasoning behind that is that some guests feel awkward about seeing a psychic anyway. This way they can go in and be by themselves with me. We can do the readings. And then if any information comes across that they really didn't want anybody else to know, as far as personal information and stuff like that, we can keep it a secret between myself and the guests. And the best part of this is everybody that gets a reading done when they book the psychic party will get a free gift. How cool is that? You host a party, bring in an entertainer, and your guests get free gifts. Can't beat that. And if you haven't browsed my website thoroughly, well then you probably don't know this, so I'm going to explain it. My pricing is very competitive. To start out with, I don't think you'll find anybody doing what I'm doing with the same prices. And if by chance you do find somebody that has a better price than me, get that in writing and get it to me, and I will not only match that price, I will beat it by at the very least 10%. So keep that in mind. Just book early. And of course, like I said, I will match and then beat anybody's price by 10%. But that is within reason. I don't want to end up doing a show and then being in the red after doing it. So I do have the right to tell you what I can and can't do as far as fees for shows. But I am very competitive. Like I said, you will probably not find anybody cheaper than me anyway. So just keep that in mind, okay? So, going back to where I want this website to go, where I want this broadcasting show to go, you're listening to RadioVisions by Dara. Now, this is where we want to take this, or where I'd like to take this. I would like to see this blossom into something really cool. Cool enough that someday, way down the road in the future, that we might actually be able to expand this radio broadcast into something more substantial than what it is. Our next step right now is just to add audio so we can stream out audio to the world. But take the next step after that and maybe add phone lines so we wouldn't have to use the instant message all the time. I like the idea of the instant message because it gives some people the item to hide behind, I guess is what I'm trying to say, so they can ask questions without feeling awkward. Because some people, when they're face to face with you, they don't ask everything they really want to ask. And even sometimes when they're on the phone, that people can get the same way. They want to know something, but they really don't know how to ask it. But I have found with the instant message, people don't have that problem. It's kind of like emails. They have something to hide behind. They don't have a problem with stating stuff and asking stuff. So keep that in mind. That's why we're using that right now, to give you, the listener, the power to do what you want. I would also like to point out that I am here for you. This isn't some big ego trip for me because I've had the resources to put together a radio station. I am here to help as many people as possible for free. Yes, I still book shows. I still book private readings for people. But I also know that some people cannot afford to book a show for a party or an event. I also understand that some people cannot afford to come see me face to face, one on one. That's why we are doing a live segment twice a week on Friday and Saturday nights between 10 p.m. and midnight. Now, this right now is the only segment of the show that is live, so keep that in mind that when we get the streaming audio fixed and start doing music, that portion of it will be taped and tracked. So please don't try to contact us during that time. And as time moves forward and we're able to, we will upgrade equipment and facilities so we can do more, bigger, and better things for everybody. And if you are someone who is needing to advertise, please contact me. Because, like I said earlier, eventually we're going to need to make bigger and better changes. And unfortunately, that's going to cost money. So if you would like to advertise with us, please email me, call me, and I would love to send you some advertising information. And that information, I can guarantee you, will beat anybody else's advertising price unless they are giving it away. Our advertising is like everybody else's. The more spots you buy, the cheaper it gets. So keep that in mind as now. And if you're out there listening to this and you're not really sure what to make of it as of yet, send me an email. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think we can do to improve this. Because as of right now, I'm like you. I had some guidelines. I had some insight. Now I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants like every other radio personality does out there every single day of their lives. So keep that in mind. If you'd like to make some suggestions, I would like to hear about them. I would like to make the improvements when we can. So keep that in mind. I am Dara, and this is Friday Night. You are listening to Radio Visions, hosted by Dara, every Friday and Saturday nights between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. You could tell that one was live, couldn't you? Wow. So keep in mind that I am here for you. I do offer 5 different show stylings. If you have a event, more of a corporate style thing, like if you have an event at a hotel or at a restaurant and you need something a little bit bigger than just sit down readings, I do have other shows available. One of my favorite shows is called The Stranger. This show works really, really well for black tie affairs or even masquerade costume parties. And the basis of the show is your guests are all invited, and I show up basically unannounced. So you, as the host, cannot tell anybody you hired a psychic to come in and do readings. So I show up, and in the course of the evening, I mingle with the rest of the group, talk to them, get to know what they do, how they do it, like where they work, what they like, what they don't like. And in the course of the evening, I will leave hints and clues to people to what I do. Then after I can get some rumors and gossip really spinning and going around about who I am, what I am, where I came from, we'll eventually settle down in the evening with doing readings for people. But it's just kind of fun letting the excitement get to a point where it just climaxes with everybody going, wow, that was cool. Why didn't we think of this? So keep that in mind if you're needing a party that is formal and fun, and that party can handle the largest of groups. It can handle small groups of 5 to 20 people, but it plays very, very well for large groups. When I say large groups, 25 to 500 large groups. Because the more people there is, the more I can get rumors started. And it's those rumors I can start about who I am and what I do is what makes the party fun and exciting. So keep that in mind, okay? I also do private readings or personal readings, and those are by appointment only. So if you would like to sit down with me face to face and have a personal reading done, I do book those as well. So give me a call, set up a time, and we can have some fun doing that as well. And when I do personal readings, I always give people the options on how they want the readings done. Like most psychics, I get impressions off people all the time. I see colors around them. I actually see people with them. But a lot of times the clients don't want to do that kind of reading. They would rather have tools to work with. So these tools I do offer as well. I use playing cards. Yep, just standard household playing cards. I read playing cards. They are very accurate. And most people out there don't realize that playing cards actually came about because of the tarot cards many, many, many centuries ago. Take my hats off to you people. And I also use something called charms, or a charmed reading. As far as I know, this is unique to me. I could be wrong on that, and if I am, please let me know if you've seen someone else doing it. But this charmed reading, you get 7 charms in a bag, you mix them up, pull a handful of them out, throw them on the tabletop. I do readings based on what charms fall where and if they're touching and so on and so forth. This is one of my most popular reading tools I have. And it's just fun to do. So keep in mind when you come to a private reading, we have several options on how we can read you. So keep that in mind and I'd appreciate it. So if you're out there listening to this and have some ideas on what I can and cannot do to fix this, make it better, please send me an email and I'd be happy to let you know what's going on in the world. Sorry about that. I had to get a little drink in there. I was getting a little dry. Wow. So like I said, if you like what you've heard so far, I know I've been rambling a lot, but that's what happens on a slow night. You ramble. Let me know what's going on. Talk to me. Let me know the happiness, the sadness. Let me know how I can help. Let me know how I can fix it. Like I said, in the future, we are hoping to add music to our broadcasting. So please, if you're an artist or a musician, or just in a band that plays only in your garage, but you've produced a few CDs, go to the website, print off the permission slip, fill it out, mail it to me with your CD, and we will start broadcasting your music as soon as we can. I foresee this happening hopefully within 3 to 4 weeks, but only time will tell on that. Depends on how many people submit work. And yes, if you submit a CD, an audio CD that has no permission form with it, I will not be able to use it on the air. Keep that in mind. So please make sure you print one of those permission forms off and mail it back with your audio CD. Because I'd hate for someone to send me a really, really good CD that I'd like to share with the world and can't because they forgot the permission slip. So remember, keep that in mind. And everybody who sends me music will get credit for it. So keep that in mind as well. The style of music we're looking for is new age, smooth jazz, or cool jazz. And I'm always looking for stuff that will be good to relax with, meditate with, even wake up to with in the mornings. So keep in mind, okay? Everybody loves to listen to nice, soothing music, regardless if you're sitting in the bathtub or sitting in the backyard. Everybody loves smooth music. I would like to thank everybody that's been out there and who's supporting in this so far. And if you're a small group that would like to advertise, please contact me via the website at visionsbydarrah.com. Grab the phone number off that website, call me, I'll sit down with you. We'll make up our plans on how much advertising you want or how little you want. Give me your budget. We'll work with it. I do have the best prices, I think, in advertising. And remember, just like any other advertising thing, the more spots you buy, the cheaper it is. And if we do not, when I say we, I mean if I do not have to make your radio spot, the prices are even cheaper. So keep that in mind. If you already have a radio advertising spot made, all you got to do is send me that spot. I can use it. We'll get it in there. If not, I'll be happy to sit down and make you a live spot, and we'll use that one. And then, of course, the more advertising spots you buy, the cheaper they get. So visit visionsbydarrah.com and get your advertising going today. And again, I would like to thank anybody and everybody who's out there listening. So why don't you IM me or instant message me and tell me hi, tell me what's going on in your world. I'd be happy to talk to you, do a reading for you free. That's why I'm here. That's why we have live segments, to keep everybody informed about what's going on in their world and all that fun stuff. So keep in mind that this is how it works. You contact me to do a reading, okay? My name is Dara. I've been doing readings for well over 30 years. I started seeing things when I was younger. When I say seeing things and being younger, I mean when I was in my early teens. Actually, before my teens, starting around 10, 11, 12. I used to see dead people, basically, and I could talk to them. They would tell me stuff, and I could never figure out why they were telling me stuff. Then one day I realized they were telling me stuff because no one else could see them. And they were hoping I could tell other people what needed to be said. So that was always unique growing up. But in the very beginning of my talents, some 30 odd years ago, actually more than that, but no, actually I am in my 40s, so I'm proud of that. But when I was younger, I used to have these dreams that would come true. Have you ever had that happen to you? It's like deja vu, slaps you upside the face. But these dreams would always boggle me because I'd have a dream that was so real and couldn't understand what it was. So then one day when I was walking down the street and this dream started reliving itself, but not in my head, not in my mind, in real life out in front of me. That's when things like that were happening. I started piecing stuff together and going, wow, this is awesome. I have no other explanation for it. It is awesome. So just keep that in mind as well. And it's just one of those things that everybody's got to check into, because everybody has dreams that comes true. I mean, everybody, sooner or later. So keep that in mind, okay? Just don't dismiss it. I'd say embrace it and hold on to it as tight as you can, because maybe someday it will take you somewhere. So keep that in mind, okay? I'd also like everybody to know that I am out here broadcasting for you. So please IM me, instant message me, do whatever you can to let me know you're out there, okay? So that is something really, really cool and interesting. I want people to submit their work so we can use it on the air. Alright? Because I can't use it unless you submit it. I can't use it unless you give me the permission to. So make sure you get that permission form as well, okay? That's on the website. You can find that really easy. No brainer there. At least I'm hoping I made it easy enough. If you don't think it's easy to use the website, let me know about that too, and I'd like to make those changes. Okay? And like I said, those changes are easily made to anything. And of course, I'm here for you. And like I said, if you instant message me, I will be happy to give you a live reading in as much detail as you would like, or as little detail as you would like, since it's being broadcast all over the world. That is kind of a strange thought. If you stop and think about it, radio stations that are local radio stations live in your hometown, they broadcast. And 90% of their broadcast is over the air. Well, they actually broadcast on the internet now as well, but think about it first. They broadcast over the air, and it goes to the town they're in and maybe some surrounding towns. Depends on how big their radio tower is. And if they're a big station, maybe one of your neighboring states can pick up the signal. Depend on where you're located in the state. Then the internet comes along, and people started broadcasting on the internet like us. And now you are physically broadcasting to the entire world. Not just your hometown, not just your home state, the entire world. Isn't that cool? Kind of mind-boggling if you think about it. That you're capable of reaching not just 500,000 people, not just maybe 1 million people, not just 5 million people, but you're capable of reaching billions and billions of people. Isn't that kind of mind-boggling if you stop and think about it? All because someone came up with the idea one day of saying, wouldn't it be cool if we could communicate using a computer hooked up to a phone line? Then that went to a broadband line, and now here we are. Not even 3 decades out since the internet was born. The internet was born in the 80s. If you really stop and think about it, the real internet that was marketable to people. And when it first came out, it was nothing more than just basically things you could go and post messages. Bulletin boards is what they called them. So you could post messages and other people could go read them. Then it morphed into where you could get online and type and communicate to people directly from computer to computer. Then it went from there to where you could get online and talk to people, make phone calls. Now you can watch movies and share photos. Just mind-boggling if you think how fast it's happened. Because from 1980 to 1990, internet was still in its infancy. But the computer business was booming in the late 80s. 1990 to 1999, the computer business did more than reproduce itself. It did it thousands of times. Computers went to the little things like Radio Shack's Tandy computers and the Commodore company's VIC-20s and Commodore 64s and Amigas to IBMs and to Hewlett-Packards and Toshibas, and everybody's got a computer out. I think it's just kind of fun for a company to slap their name on something and get it out there. But yeah, here we are towards the end of the 2000s, and look where we're at. You've got access to an internet that is so usable, so friendly, so easy that you can view other countries where before you had to wait for someone to go take pictures and put it on TV or describe it on the radio and ship it back home. Now you can be right there. They can set up web cameras and You can see glaciers right there firsthand on your computer. So you can listen to any radio broadcast worldwide. If you hunt for it hard enough, you can find it online. But we hope that you're listening to Visions by Dara. So this is Radio Visions, hosted by Dara, every Friday and Saturday nights between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m., giving free psychic readings to anybody that IMs us. You can access that IM device right there on that webpage. Enter your information, enter your name at the bottom, hit enter on your computer, it will send it to me. We can have a blast doing readings or just talking. If you just want to make a comment saying how great the show was, or how bad it was and what improvements I need to make it even wonderful, send me those as well. I need all the information I can get. So keep that in mind, okay? And things are starting to roll around to be about that time. So we're going to start rolling things up. So let's do this in a way that's fun and interesting. Like I said, next week that's coming, it's in the yellows and the oranges and in the blues. That means it's going to be a relatively smooth and nice week for everybody, with one or two little rough patches at the surface. Don't let those rough patches get you down. They're always there. They always will be. Just keep a smiling face and a happy-go-lucky tune, and life will be good. I would also like to throw out one more time that we're wanting to broadcast music eventually, but in order for us to do that, I need you, the musician, the artist, the band, the group, whatever you want to call yourselves, to go to the website, print off a form, submit it to me via the mail, so you can mail me your CD with the form, and we'll start putting together streaming audio for everybody on a daily basis and not just the weekends. And hopefully that streaming audio will be up and running 24/7 in the future. But I can't do that until I get the music, so please send us the music. And this is the end of the evening. I'd like to thank everybody that's been out there and dealing with this. I'm sorry if I've rambled on too long. I'm sorry if I've said the word too many times. It just happens sometimes. Well, here we go at the end of the evening. This is Darrah signing off from RadioVisions Internet Radio. Thanks for joining us, and y'all have a great evening.